Hey guys, I hope anyone that's in attendance at East Coast Throwdown is having a good time and having a lot of fun. Alright, so for this video we're going to talk about the sand clone setups again, and we're going to talk about the flawless block gaps that are in the setups and how to adjust to get around them. Alright, so for the setups, let's do auto block. Alright, so there's flawless block gaps in the setups. Alright, and here's the second setup. Alright, so they can flawless block at certain points in the setup. Alright, and I'm gonna go over briefly on how flawless blocking works. I mean, this video might be a little long, so bear with me. But anything in open space, like anything in the neutral here, like the first hit, like anything can be flawless blocked. Anything can be flawless blocked. Alright, doesn't matter what it is. You know, it can even be a projectile. Like anything can be flawless blocked in open space. Okay, but that's not the same case when it comes to strings or combos, or what you want to call them. You see, he was able to flawless block the first hit, but he couldn't flawless block the second one. Alright, couldn't flawless block the second hit. Alright, that one's a special case. But there are a lot of there's a lot of strings in this game that cannot allow for someone to release block and block within that 5-frame window to get the flawless block. There's only a few exceptions to that, and like I said, there are very few. Like most characters only have about like 2 or maybe 3 strings that have a gap big enough to be flawless blocked. Okay, and we're gonna use that later on to make our adjustments. But to show you an example of a string that has a gap big enough for you to flawless block the second hit will be his 2-4 string. All right, you see he was able to flawless block the first hit. Yeah, but he couldn't. He flawless blocked the first one, and he was able to flawless block the second one. All right. Same with 2-2. All right. But things like this, this, they don't have gaps big enough to where you can release block and you know, flawless block. It's just the gap is just not big enough. All right. And another thing that that can't be flawless blocked is, of course, grabs and command grabs. Okay, I mean, obviously they can't flawless block because you have to block, and grabs are unblockable. All right, you can't block a grab. You can't flawless block that. You can't block it, period. All right. So we're going to use those two things to pretty much get around the flawless block gaps in our setups. Okay, so where's the flawless block gaps in the setup? Okay, so he can flawless block that. So keep in mind, guys, how temporal advantage works is anything that you hit them with outside of temporal advantage, you keep the frame advantage, but you don't keep. It's not a string. You know, once they come out of temporal advantage, it's kind of like the same way as getting reset to the neutral. You keep the frame advantage of the last button you hit them with, but it's not like this. It's not like a string. Okay, they can flawless block anything out of temporal advantage, regardless if you hit them with something or not. All right. See, I kept the frame advantage, but they were still able to flawless block any follow-up I have. So keep that in mind. Anything can be flawless blocked out of temporal advantage, all right, regardless of the frame advantage, all right. See, they can flawless block anything after that. Okay, so that's guaranteed. So what about the second part of the setup? Alright, so there's a false block gap that I showed you in 2-4. So not only is he able to false block the first hit out of temporal advantage, he's able to false block the second hit of 2-4. So there's a gap in both instances of the setup. Right. All right. But there's something you can do to get around that. All right. There's a couple of options. All right. So let's take into consideration that he just flawless blocks this. Let's say he flawless blocks that. All right. He's always flawless blocking it. He knows the timing. He's got the timing down. What you can do is this. Just go for a command grab right there, because like I mentioned before, you can't false block command grabs. I mean, you just can't block them anyway. So I mean, they're gonna get blown up by the command grab. All right. So that's one thing you can do if he's false blocking right there. Let's see what else. Let's say he's flawless blocking the second hit. Let's see if he's only flawless blocking the 4 portion of 2-4. He's only flawless blocking the second part. He just got that part down, and he's got down and down. Like there's another thing you can do. You can do something against that as well. You go for a tick grab. So let's say he's not flawless blocking the 2, but he's flawless blocking the 4. Just go into command grab after the 2. So you know what I'm saying, that's why command grab is like really strong against flawless blocking. All right. So just keep in mind, if they're flawless blocking at any point, like you have to pay attention to where they're flawless blocking. All right. If they're flawless blocking the 2 out of temporal advantage, just go straight into command grab. Now you're probably asking yourself, what if they jump? What if they jump? What if they do that? Okay. Well, just go back. If they're jumping, you pretty much just do it in reverse. They can't jump the 2. They have to jump. They have to block. All right. Let me have them not block and just try to jump. That's what happens if they just try to jump and they don't try to block. If they know you're trying to go for a command grab and they're just saying, I'm not gonna block right here, they're not gonna block the 2 after the temporal advantage, and they're just gonna try and jump, you'll hit them out of it because it jails. It jails. All right, you'll hit them out of it if they try to jump the command grab. If you go for go for it after temporal advantage. See, if you go for that, they'll get hit. All right. So what happens if they try to jump the second portion? Same thing as I showed in the first video. So if they're jumping, pretty much just do it like you would do it regularly. But if they're trying to flawless block, make adjustments and just command grab them. Just pay attention to what your opponent is doing. All right, and it's the same thing for the first setup as well. All right, I mean it's the same thing for the second setup as well. All right, so we're gonna go to All right, so we're gonna show the false blocks in the second setup I had. Alright, so there's a flawless block gap, of course, after the temporal advantage, so he's flawless blocking the forward 2. And there's a flawless block when they explode the clone. All right, there's a flawless block after forward 2 into explode clone. There's a flawless block gap. All right, so like the same thing I just showed, if they're flawless blocking the first part out of temporal advantage, you can just command grab them. All right. If they're flawless blocking that, just go straight into command grab. All right. Simple as that. That's getting flawless blocked. Just go straight into command grab. All right. Let's say if they're flawless blocking the second part. They're flawless blocking that. What you can do is this. Alright, you can do something like that. Keep in mind that in the beginning of the video I said that certain strings do not have gaps big enough to where you can flawless block the second hit. Let me go back to that. Flawless block all. You see, he couldn't flawless block the second hit. He couldn't flawless block it. So you can use that as an adjustment if they're flawless blocking the forward 2 into a clone explode. Not that. If they're flawless blocking that, just go for this. And you're completely safe because forward 2 1 into sand clone explosion, there's no flawless block gap in that. All right, let me show you. As you can see, he cannot flawless block forward 2 1. All right. All right. So I hope this helped anyone. If you guys are having problems with flawless blocks and the setups, hopefully those tips helped you out and you can make the appropriate adjustments. And yeah, I'll see you guys on our next one.